Title: Growing Together. Transformation from loved one to caregiver. Animation of an eagle flying to a tree. Below, raccoons go about their business in a winter forest.
We lead busy lives. We have careers, families, friends, hobbies, and often set a routine to keep our lives organized. It can be difficult to make time in our routine for self-care or personal transformation. When we do make a personal transformation, it's typically one we actively seek out because it's about how we see ourselves, alone, acting in the world.
The eagle tends to 3 eaglets in a nest. One of the eaglets falls out of the nest into a pile of leaves on the ground.
But what happens when circumstances arise that are out of our control and require us to make time to care not only for ourselves, but also for someone close to us?
A raccoon collecting nuts finds the fallen eaglet. They look at each other, then both look up toward the nest. The little bird chirps, flaps its wings and jumps, while the raccoon walks away.
In the 21st century, becoming a caregiver requires us to rethink everything we once knew.
The bird tries and fails to fly.
When a loved one becomes a caregiver, everything changes. Responsibilities, beliefs, hopes, expectations, and relationships.
The raccoon comes back.
Becoming a caregiver is not a role that most people think about, dream about, or even prepare for. But eventually, everyone is drafted into and transformed by the caregiver role.
The raccoon tosses the bird toward the nest, then catches it when it falls.
It's a role created by a loved one's need for care, and it infuses all aspects of our lives.
Raccoons leave.
Most people do not see or label themselves as caregivers at first, because it's not a desired label that is thought to promote public advancement or recognition.
Raccoon puts eaglet on his shoulder.
Caregiving is private, not public. Usually comes at a tipping point, when caring becomes a full-time job, and the quest for personal growth and personal gain become intertwined with care responsibilities. Somewhere along the care journey, disorientation takes hold, throwing caregivers off balance, requiring them to question life expectations they've taken for granted.
The raccoon struggles to climb the tree, eaglet on its shoulder. It stumbles and slips. The sun rises and sets as the raccoon slowly makes its way up. The ground looks very far away.
Caregivers can't help but begin to notice a growing misalignment between their realities and the realities of their friends and family, which often leads to feelings of loneliness.
In the distance, other raccoons go about their lives. Nearby, squirrels leap from the tree to the leaves below.
This caregiver transition can make caregivers feel like strangers, when what they're going through feels impossible to explain to those closest to them. For the first time, caregivers feel the limitations of their existing social support networks.
Puts eaglet in the nest.
Caregivers can feel like they lose parts of themselves in the care role. The next natural questions the caregivers may well ask themselves are, who am I? And what have I become?
Raccoon looks sad.
When the realization dawns that real change has taken place and that there's no going back to one's pre-caregiving life, the possibility of a new life presents itself, transforming not simply who you have become, but what you value.
The raccoon and the eaglet play together in the spring forest with other animals.
Caregivers can begin to use and leverage their distinct voice in creating partners, allies, and social ties to deepen advocacy efforts to become stakeholders, not only in their own loved one's ongoing journey, but also in their own. Becoming a caregiver isn't just something that happens to us. It's a life-altering role and relationship that provides the opportunity to transform our experiences to enhance individual and familial well-being.
Surrounded by wildlife, the now adult bird and raccoon sit together in a tree.
It's an opportunity to discover new ways of seeing ourselves and being with others.
Text: north of now. Produced with the participation of the Tell Us Fund. Created in collaboration with Donna Thompson and Dr. Zachary White and based on their book, The Unexpected Journey of Caring, The Transformation from Loved One to Caregiver. Stories for Caregivers.